Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, wow, I did a bit of a dive into the situation with P. Diddy and the connection with, well, I'm not going to say possible connection because there is a connection, but the connection with Prince Harry. And the more I dived in, the more I was finding that there's connections with Oprah, Tyler Perry. It's very interesting indeed. So this is the sort of channel for you where I use my years of experience as a psychotherapist in where I have studied body language, behavior, the things that not just people say, but the things they don't say, reading between the lines. Please subscribe. And if you enjoy this video, please don't forget to like it. So that being said, let's dive right in. So of course, before we get going, it is that time where I ask you to sit back, relax, grab your drink of choice. And as always, I ask you, my wonderful subscribers here, to send in your videos of what you are enjoying. And it could be you, it could be your fur babies, it could be whatever it is, you know, whether you want to sit in your garden and showcase your beautiful garden, or whether you're out and about, your family, whatever it is, send in your videos of a minute, couple of minutes long, where you're saying, grab your drink of choice. If you want to add a little something because it's 5 o'clock somewhere, you can of course do that too, and send it to the email address that's going along the bottom here now. So here is the next one. Please give it some love, and I will see you in a minute.
After a day in the beautiful bush, it's time to wind down with Emma. So grab your drink of choice and perhaps add a bit of something, because it's 5 o'clock here in sunny South Africa.
So the scandal of P. Diddy, Sean Combs, is everywhere right now. But what's interesting, I find, is that even though it's everywhere on social media because people are talking about this, the mainstream media, not so much. And it does make you wonder, doesn't it, why the mainstream media seem to be keeping quiet when it comes to this type of story. And in my opinion, given the fact that I have been doing some investigating, should I say, there are some very big names involved. Now, of course, I could talk about the amount of people involved, and there are a lot, but let's talk about the ones that are connected to, in a sense, the channel that I do. And that is Prince Harry, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, who also has connections with Epstein and Weinstein. So when I was looking into this, I mean, I felt I needed to have multiple showers afterwards, because the things that were coming out, you know, I'm not naive, and I'm sure most of us here are not naive in what goes on in the world. And I've got to be very, very careful what I say here. There are certain words. So if you see me sort of say, or just kind of do that and then type the word up here, it's because I'm not allowed to say it. YouTube flags the words. But there are all of these things that have been going on in the world of Hollywood. You know, from far back as I'm pretty sure any of us can remember, there's been rumors, stories that have come out of the most heinous crimes and things that have been going on in this sort of seedy side. And I think the worst part, and it's not just for me, it's not just about the people that are doing it, it's the people that are complicit, the people that are silent, saying nothing. And the more I delved into this, the more I started to think, I wonder if this is why Harry has got himself into a very, very difficult situation. if we look at the character of someone like Prince Harry, he is not, as I've said before, he's not an alpha male. He is not somebody that commands respect. He got a level of respect because of the fact that he's Prince Harry, and obviously he is a member of the British royal family, but he doesn't have the same aura about him as Prince William does. And I think that Harry, even though he's a member of the royal family, as I said in the previous video, if you haven't watched that, then go and watch that, because this sort of ties in with that a little bit in the fact that, you can imagine him coming into contact with someone like Sean Combs, P. Diddy, and the sort of gangster lifestyle that he has, and Harry naively, because I feel like it would be naively, because Harry's the sort of person that believes that because of his position it opens up doors, which it does, and it gives him access to people, things, situations, whatever, because of that being part of the royal family, and it does. But I also think that Harry thinks that he's untouchable, and I think to a certain degree he has been, but that's now changing. But when you've got somebody like Sean Combs, then the reason to some degree he is untouchable is because what seems to have happened, and what I'm sort of seeing, is that he has tapes on people. He has done this to people. He's threatened people. He pretty much anything that can happen to stop someone from talking, he's done it. Or he's, well, I'm going to say allegedly, even though I don't think it is allegedly, but anyway. So then you have someone like Prince Harry, who is wet behind the ears, who's been under the protection of the royal family, who plays at being a bit of a gangster, because I think that's kind of what he does, then comes into contact with obviously P. Diddy and a lot of the people that are surrounding, P. Diddy's sort of network. And it was 2007. I'm going to put the right date up here because I'm just talking and I forget sometimes because of the menopause. And obviously, yes, Prince William was connected to that as well, because it was to do with their mother. But like I said in the other video, why was then William not mentioned? If this was just about him doing that performance at the for Harry and William's mother, then why wasn't just William mentioned as well? And then why would they be? Why would Harry be mentioned in a court case if all it was that they'd say just gone to, Puff Daddy had performed, they'd sort of met afterwards, maybe even had a couple of drinks or whatever, and then that was kind of it. There'd be no need to put someone in a court case. But Harry is mentioned. And so to me, that tells us, allegedly, that there is more to Harry meeting P. Diddy. And I believe Harry partied with P. Diddy. Allegedly. It's always allegedly. Now, given Harry's history of this and this, and this, it's not a stretch, is it? It is not a stretch to think that Harry was there and these parties were called freak-offs. And as a, not even just as a woman, but as a human being, reading some of the things that have come out. And I'm going to show you, actually, there's a little video clip now. So I'm going to show you a video clip of some of the things I have found. Hopefully I won't get a copyright strike. If no video comes up, then I tried to put it up. It was a copyright strike, in which case then I will add in, I will just have to talk about it.
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really.
Come on.
But it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle. And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
The message, when you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution. And in the caption, Seal wrote, "Oh, I forgot that."
Now, these anonymous reports linked him to crimes, but they wasn't taken to the cops.
Alleged ties to Diddy are under scrutiny. Fans are wondering if Oprah will stay silent or if she'll wait until Diddy is locked up to start speaking out. Because see, when Oprah did that special with McCall Jackson's accusers, she claimed she wanted to expose the pattern of these types of crimes in Hollywood.
So I had a lot of hateration, but I also, when I first saw that documentary, I realized that a lot of people are going to get triggered, are going to be triggered by watching it. Yes. And that.
Meanwhile, Oprah got into hot water over how her charity responded to the Maui fires. Now, there was mad claims that her organization didn't handle the money properly and was somehow linked to kids going missing during the disaster.
March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura.
Oprah Winfrey. For years, Oprah has been hailed as the black savior, but according to some insiders, it's all an act. Over time, Oprah has been accused of harboring a dark agenda against black actors, going as far as to lowball them and even blacklist them from the industry. Artists like Monique, Ludacris, and Toni Braxton know all too well about Oprah's thirst for power and fame, and Cat Williams is making sure people don't forget. Oprah has a lot of folks looking up to her. However, not everyone sees Oprah as a black icon. For some, Oprah is the very reason why black actors haven't been able to succeed in the industry. While the allegations may sound unbelievable, Oprah has revealed her true colors from time to time. Take a look at her interview with Toni Braxton from back in the day. Years after the interview, Toni recalled the incident, describing Oprah as mean and even calling her a fake humanitarian.
I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And immediately, she made me feel this bitch.
Became a problem with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, that I wouldn't do something and work for free. You can't meet negative energy where it is. You have to rise above it. You have to transcend it.
Oprah, there's a difference between negativity for the sake of being negative, and there's a difference between the truth, which may be negative. If you notice, what you're not saying is, I've lied about anything. And that is very telling, don't you think? #truth will set you free.
See, that's a friend.
Monique came forward with receipts of Perry's behind-the-scenes behavior. What? Another day, another not-so-shocking piece of news about Diddy getting wild with male artists. Now Meek Mill is thrown into the mix of those allegedly joining Diddy's freaky sessions. Mogul and producer's sexuality have been raging since he first burst onto the scene as part of Bad Boy Entertainment, and it's clocking into 4 decades now.
What are your thoughts after hearing the indictment yesterday?
Good morning, Brian and Natalie. I got to tell you, my thoughts reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call because they're going to want to know everything you want to know and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them. And it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So this is going to be a slow developing a case here because we're just getting started. And I don't see how this trial begins anytime before next year.
So yeah, so either you've seen the video or I've just added some photographs. But basically, these parties would go on for days, and it wasn't just women. It was young men too, and there's obviously things that have come out in regards to Justin Bieber, Usher, other young people that up and coming stars that were involved in this. And I just feel heartbroken because as a mum to 2 boys, and I can't even imagine how something like this, especially if it's coming out now, that there's going to be a lot of things that are probably going to be exposed, and this must be awful for these people that have been involved in being used in this type of situation. But these parties would go on for days. There was so many things involved. Apparently when they raided his home, there was like, is it hundreds or thousands of bottles of baby oil? Excuse me, I'm having a hot flash as I'm talking. I'm starting to realise that I feel like hot flashes are kind of linked to like, not anxiety, but yes, I think anxiety. But it's like, because I'm talking about a subject that I'm not really comfortable with, because I find it quite upsetting. I mean, like doing the deep dive into this, I was horrified at the things that were coming out. And I fully believe that Harry was there, at least at one of them. I don't feel that there's a part of me that sort of thinks that maybe Harry is not deeply involved as some others, but I do feel he was. And when you've got Meghan, who's hovering around Tyler and Oprah, it makes you wonder why. Now, obviously, I've done videos on Meghan's connection to Andrew, and then obviously you've got Andrew's connection to Epstein. So then there was the case where Meghan was going to be called as a witness, or she was at least going to be spoken to, and this was also to do with Epstein. So then that connects then Meghan to Epstein. You have Soho House, Marcus Anderson, who has a connection to that circle as well. We all know how close Meghan and Marcus Anderson have been, whether they still are now, I don't know, but I believe they probably are. And like I say, and then finding out that actually Tyler and Oprah obviously go way, 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 way back. And a lot of things are coming out in which Oprah and Tyler are responsible for actually cancelling a lot of actors and actresses if they didn't like the look of them, if they said anything bad about them, if they didn't do what they wanted, they would make their life hell. And so it does make sense to me how Meghan especially would be very desperate to keep Tyler and Oprah on side. Now, what I do find a little bit kind of intriguing is how Oprah is sort of tolerating Meghan. Like, we've seen her like hug Meghan at this bookstore. You know, she knows how to play the game. But then there is this footage here where she, like I said in the last video, where she talks about, Oprah talks about, you know, you don't have people in your life, you know, they're not friends if they're jealous of you, which is something that I feel Meghan would very much want. And Meghan is so egotistical that she could potentially feel that she's got some information on Oprah, and she could feel that she could use that. But of course, Oprah's been in this industry for years and years and years. And if anyone knows how to not just play the Hollywood game, but the very sinister side of Hollywood, then it's going to be her. And the fact that her and Tyler Perry are very close, but it also makes you think why they form this connection in the first place. Now, of course, I do think that Oprah wanted this interview and she got the interview. It's interesting that she then started to distance herself after that interview. And I don't necessarily think it was just because of the backlash that she got. I think it was because she got what she wanted. She got the interview. But Oprah is going to know stuff about Meghan. So and Meghan isn't influential enough to keep on side for herself. There is nothing about Meghan that is going to interest someone like Oprah or Tyler Perry. But Harry is. The connection to the royal family is. And this is what makes me wonder why Harry was mentioned. Is it because this is actually bleeding closer to a potential blackmailing of the royal family? You know, the royal family are one of the most famous families in the world. They have, you know, if you have the British royal family in your pocket, imagine what that could do. Now, I'm not saying the royal family would be party to this, but I wonder if they believe that by accessing Meghan, who can access Harry, or Meghan is using this and using Harry to get this, which then has access to the royal family because Harry would have said stuff perhaps to Meghan or even others, thinking that he could trust them. So then now they've got information, and it just makes me very concerned. But the more I was reading into Oprah and Tyler and how they work together, they're literally they're like the same as each other, but just he's a male, she's a female, and they're literally they know how to do this. And I think even though Meghan believes that she's up there, she is by no means in the same league stratosphere as someone like Oprah and Tyler in the shady dealings. Meghan would be out of her depth completely. And Harry most definitely would. And so what we're having is that, you know, there's been videos where Diddy has sort of reeled out these names, and the thing is, I think that, like I say, actors or people in Hollywood will do things publicly but do it in implausible deniability. And I think that he was talking about sort of people that he was inviting to a party, but that they're all in this. So looking at how far back this goes, it's almost like there's like a hierarchy of and I think like P. Diddy, Oprah, Tyler, like I say, Epstein, Weinstein, and there's obviously some others as well. And then you've got the people that are underneath, which are then the ones sort of that are also doing things for them. And these are the people, I feel like Beyonce, Jay-Z, and other people in the industry that are just as dark, potentially. And then they sort of get people involved in that. And it's just these tentacles that are everywhere. People getting dragged into situations when they're young, and vulnerable, or can be easily manipulated. People like Tyler, Oprah, do not have friends that like you and I would have. Like I said, Oprah has Gayle King because Gayle King is almost like, I want to say a servant. That's not what I mean, but just somebody that Oprah can control and manipulate. And Gayle King just kind of just goes, oh, yeah, I'll just go along with everything. She knows stuff, but she's probably so afraid of Oprah that she will just do anything Oprah says. And so why would you want to be friends and want to associate with somebody like Oprah or Tyler Perry? Isn't it strange how those two made a beeline for Harry and Meghan straight away, offering them somewhere to stay, offering them the interview. Now, Meghan, I believe, knows exactly what she's doing or believes she does, but I think that Harry probably got caught up in it all, and now it's gone too far. And I do also wonder if this is why the royal family have literally put down this wall of you're not coming through, because we've got to look at what we know on the surface. So imagine what they know underneath, what they probably have found out in who Harry is hanging around with, who Meghan is hanging around with. And like I say, you don't get into bed, so to speak, with people like Oprah and Tyler Perry, or associate with someone like P. Diddy without there being some agenda. Not just from yourself, but also, I can understand Meghan thinking that Oprah's going to open doors for her, but what doors has Oprah? If Oprah wanted to help Meghan, she would have done it by now. If Tyler Perry wanted to help Meghan, they have enough influence, or they did have, probably before the interview, they had enough influence to probably catapult Meghan into some relevant stardom. They could have done something. And I wonder if the interview had been a success, then possibly that might have happened. But I think Oprah did not expect the backlash that she got from that interview. And so I believe, and I think that Tyler would be in on this as well, because it's interesting how Gayle King has never interviewed them, but they have Harry. They've interviewed Harry, but they're not interested in Meghan. And so I think that bookstore thing was potentially set up, in a sense, by Meghan, in a way where she potentially turned up. And that's why she looked so uncomfortable when Oprah was there. Whether she didn't expect Oprah to come, I don't know, or thought that she could monopolize the situation. But I think Oprah has got her number, and I really think that she knows that Oprah could ruin her. And so could Tyler Perry. So it does make me think that the reason why Meghan is putting out these like little puff pieces of, oh, I'm going to Tyler Perry's, in a way, she's saying, a bit like the Canada Pap Walk. It's like they sort of do things through the media. Meghan is acting like they're friends, but they're not. And I just feel either Meghan knows stuff about Oprah and Tyler, and she's playing a very, very, very dangerous game, thinking that she's calling the shots a little bit, or there is just something very sinister going on, more so than what we realise. Because, like I said, when I started, I only scratched the surface of what they've potentially been involved in. And there's enough people that are calling Oprah out now, celebrities, and Tyler Perry. I saw stuff with Eddie Murphy calling Tyler Perry out, 50 Cent calling Tyler Perry out. There was Snoop. I think Snoop Dogg was calling out Oprah. There was someone else calling, but there was a lot of black actors and singers that are calling out Oprah, and because apparently they are not down. It's like they want to be top dogs. They want to be top of everything, and so they have been blocking a lot of people in the industry to stop them from working because they've had a falling out or something along those lines. So it would be in Meghan's very best interest to not have that falling out with Oprah, knowing that Oprah could absolutely ruin her. So there's something that is going on, I feel, and it just concerns me that you've got a member of the royal family that is not only connected to Oprah and Tyler Perry, who are very, very sinister, shady people, in my opinion. But you've also now got this connection to P. Diddy. And the fact is, like I say, some of the horrendous things that were happening to these young men and women. And then you've got the stuff that has come out in regards to the way Harry has treated women. And we've seen a lot of his misogyny in his book, The Spare, the lack of respect he has. And then that then takes me into is this the reason why, to do with the children, why, when I've been saying that Archie is Harry's, did Harry do something to a woman and because of it she fell pregnant? Now that is enough of a reason to cover up a situation, because as I've said before, a surrogate, there are no laws in the UK, and I know that some people have said that they believe they could have got a surrogate from elsewhere. There is still, the child was born here. There is no law here that gives Harry and Meghan the rights to the child, even if it's her eggs, it doesn't matter. There is no rights whatsoever. They would have to go to court. They would have to file for adoption of this child. None of that has taken place. Not only that, can you honestly see the royal family covering up and lying to the world just for a surrogate? I can't. But if Harry has done something horrendous, and then the result of that has got a woman pregnant, then yes, I can see the royal family covering that up, mainly because of the woman. It probably isn't just because of Harry, but the scandal would be terrible, but I think it would be to protect the real mother, the woman. They would do it to protect her because she's innocent. And so I know that when people have said, oh, they should just let the truth come out, but imagine being that person. Imagine being somebody that's had that happen to them, and then the result of that is that they've got a royal child. Of course the royal family are going to cover that up. And then of course Meghan is going to go along with it because she doesn't want to give up her nest egg. She doesn't love Harry, but she loves the money and the fame that comes with being with Harry, and she's not going to give that up. And so she's there going, I'll pretend to be pregnant, or the royal family or Harry asked her to do it. And then that explains then why Megxit had to happen. It also explains why Meghan did that crazy pap walk with a doll, why she's done the moon bump flashes, because she knows the truth and she's just played the game, and she's just been like, you can't expose me, you can't touch me, you can't do anything because I know the truth, and if you do anything, I'm going to expose you. Harry is now trapped, in my opinion, and don't get me wrong, I don't believe he's innocent, certainly don't, especially if that is the case of what he's done, allegedly, but he's got himself into this situation. And then if you then have people like Oprah, Tyler, shady people that know the truth, because obviously there were rumours that came out around the time of the Oprah interview where people said that they saw, some people said they saw Meghan's moon bump. Again, I can't find any facts on that, but this was coming out around the time. Then she knows the truth. And so is there this kind of sinister, almost like contract that's kind of going on where it's like, I'll keep your secret, but I want access to Harry. I want access to the royal family. Because before that, she couldn't get access, and now she has, and she's done these interviews with Harry, and apparently that there's going to be something else that's going to be coming up with Harry, and something just does not sit right with me. I worry I worry that something very, very sinister is going on behind the scenes, and the royal family could potentially now get involved in something unwittingly. Because let's be honest, I don't think that they're people that would sort of lie to the world without good reason. And that's why when people have said, oh, it's, I believe in the surrogacy, I don't, because I don't believe the royal family would choose to lie to the world over something like a surrogacy when it could blow up at any point. But I do think if they thought they were doing the right thing in protecting this woman, that they would do that. And then unfortunately, that's why Meghan has got away with some of the things that she's got away with, and why Harry is potentially saying about her being apologized to, because in Meghan's mind, she will say that she's done Harry a favor. She helped Harry by lying, even though she's done it for leverage and she's done it for her own agenda. She will gaslight and spin that to be like, I did this for you. I lied for you. I got removed and bullied by the royal family and the British press because of you. That's how she'll spin this. So her anger and everything that's directed at the royal family, and probably directed at Harry many times over, will be because she will think that everything's been ruined ever since she's got with Harry. In her mind, her life has been ruined. It won't be that she's created all of this and she's certainly part of it. She will blame Harry. She will blame the royal family. And so when they divorce, which will happen when they divorce, and I believe the only reason they haven't up until now is two reasons. One, because she's not made a success of anything, so she's not able to separate from the connection and the money that's connected with Harry. But also because there's leverage. She knows things on Harry, and all the time that she is using him, and she will keep having that leverage. And I think Harry has now got himself in so deep now that he can't get out. And then now you've got this connection with P. Diddy. Why was he mentioned? Whenever I say to clients, one of the biggest things when anything happens is why. Ask yourself why, or ask someone else why. Why is that? It's the one word that creates so many questions and answers. It's like, why? Why am I reacting that way? Why does that affect me? Why are you doing that? Why was he involved in that? Why was he mentioned? Prince William wasn't mentioned. No other member of the royal family was mentioned, but Harry was mentioned. And is that because he involved himself, even if it was for one time, he involved himself in something, because it's come out that P. Diddy was recording people. Has he got a recording of Prince Harry doing something? Does Meghan know? Does Oprah know? Does Tyler Perry know? The plot thickens. But all I know is it made me sick to my stomach reading just a fraction of what was going on in the 90s and further. Just it was her. For me as a person, I cannot understand why money and power creates such depravity how people can hurt another human being for kicks. There is horrendous, and I just want to say, the people that are coming forward now, that the woman, one of his ex, Cassie, who in a sense was the one that broke this by bravely coming out, and there was this footage, undeniable footage of him, just being just horrendous with her, and I can't say it on here, and I'm not going to show the footage because it's too triggering. Even I was triggered by watching it, and I truly believe that if that footage wasn't there, he would have tried to pay her off, or he would have lied and got someone to cover it up, because that's what they do. They cover things up. Money, power, these hierarchies that just cover up these worst crimes that they do to people. And I saw a comment in the previous video where someone said, I deleted it because I felt that it was from the Cult Squad, but it was like, you know, you're lying. It's everywhere that Meghan went to Tyler's party. It's you know, you've only got to Google it. And all I want to say is, stop being naive. If you honestly think that Google isn't run by people that want you to that direct you a certain way, it's like I said, one hand is doing this while the other hand is doing this. You know, you cannot believe everything that is in me. That's why when I see an article, I research and I look. I don't just see that one article and go, oh yeah, that must be true. It's like, okay, that's piqued my interest. Let's see if I can find it. If I cannot find anything anywhere or even remotely connected, then I just think, oh, it's a puff piece or whatever it is. But when I was delving into this, it was literally a rabbit hole. You know, when I started delving into the connection with P. Diddy, I knew there was a connection with Oprah, but I didn't actually know there was a connection with Tyler Perry, but there is. And I think that P. Diddy probably thinks that he's got so many things on people, and there's probably judges that are in his pocket, police officers in his pocket, but I don't know what's going to happen. But I think that P. Diddy believes that there's enough people that are going to be terrified about what's going to come out, and potentially Harry's one of them. So I don't know, but you guys tell me what you think. You know, do you think the same thing as me? Do you feel that this is just a lot deeper than what even we know? And I think that even for myself, and you've got other YouTubers that are trying to find the truth, I must admit, even I'm starting to get a little bit nervous now, because as my channel grows, I think whilst you're a small channel, you can talk about things and people don't take any notice because you don't really have a lot of influence, I guess, over people, or your messages doesn't get spread. But as your channel grows, and because I'm someone that I want to find the truth, you know, I'm not into being false or lying or any of those things. It's like, for me, it's like, it's important to find the truth. And when I was looking into all of this, it was so sinister and dark that I thought, you know what, perhaps even I have to be a little bit careful. You know, for obvious reasons. And I think that this runs deep. I think that Harry and Meghan are involved in some very, very shady situations. So yeah, but let me know what you think in the comments. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed and you do not want to miss future uploads, then please think about subscribing to the channel. I upload 2 videos a week generally, and it's usually on a Tuesday, Wednesday and a Friday. My other channel, Coffee and Crime, if you are interested in, and I'm probably going to do a little bit more of a deep dive over there on the P. Diddy stuff, because that's a small channel and I could probably get away with a little bit more over there than what I can on this one. So if you want to know a little bit more on the P. Diddy stuff, then make sure that you subscribe to that channel as well. All you got to do is go to the end of this one. You will see a round circle with what looks like a coffee cup and like crime. It takes you straight through to the channel. Yeah, so you can treat me to a cuppa if you enjoy what I do here. If you would like to support that way, that would be great. But again, not necessary. You don't have to do that. You can go across to my Amazon wish list, because I know that some of you ask how you can buy me something. I have shut down my PO box for the moment because I'm having too many people, unfortunately, that are just coming to me and saying there's been a problem. Some of the things are bouncing back, some things are getting lost. And what I don't want is people paying postage and losing money. I just don't want that. So until I've sorted that out, the only thing you can do is treat me to a cuppa or my Amazon wish list, or you can email me, you know. And if you want to there are things that you can do. So like, if some people have said that they would like to send me a card or something like that, you can do e-cards. So if you want to do an e-card, you can. And what I can do then is print that out. So you can write a little message on an e-card, and then I can print that out, and then I can keep it. So there are ways around that, but hopefully I will try and sort out the PO box. But at the minute, yeah, until I work out what's going on, I don't want people to waste their money. Yeah, so that is all from me, I think. So in the meantime, I hope you have a great weekend, whatever you are doing, and I will see you next week in a new video. But in the meantime, as you know, I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye. Mwah.